Hey guys, it's Oluvids, and as you guys already know, the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event happened over the past weekend, and there's a lot to talk about, a ton of stuff to go into. It was a whole event. It wasn't even just like that Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer and all that. There was a whole event, a bunch of merch, a bunch of art, a bunch of interviews, and yeah, there's just a ton to talk about, and I need to separate these in different videos. So today I'm going to be talking about the interview that took place or more like a Q&A that took place in the 20th anniversary event with the the devs or everyone involved with Kingdom Hearts. Pretty much I'll be reading off what they're saying, and you could let me know what you think about what's said in the comments below after this is finished. Yeah, if you want to see my reaction to the whole Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link and Dark Road trailers, I have that up already. That was the first thing uploaded in terms of all this stuff. I'll be making like a follow-up video for the art, because I already made a video analyzing the art, but now I'll analyze the full art in a different video. And I'll be talking about the trailers separately and their own individual things, because there's just a lot to talk about. But yeah, today let's just get into the interview and let's see what's said in here. Here's the start of it. It says, "Are nobody emblems natural? Do humanoid nobodies have them?" Nomura, is this something you all care about? No, the humanoid nobodies do not have them. Think of them as the nobody equivalent of pureblood heartless. They all lack emblems. So yeah, Marluxia doesn't have a nobody emblem on his stomach, so it's not like a birthmark kind of thing. Anyway, next we got, who exactly is Demix? Nomura says, this question was asked a lot. I'm gonna withhold the answer because if I reveal it here, then there'd be no point in showing it in a future game, and I'd rather save it. He's the only character in the Organization 13 who's still shrouded in mystery, so I'm thinking of touching upon it someday. So I think this is pretty much confirmation that, there is gonna be something with Demix. Whatever's gonna happen with him, it's not done yet. It's gonna come up in some future game. He doesn't say Kingdom Hearts 4 specifically, so we don't know when, but it's going to come up eventually. And whoever he is, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty significant if he can't even say it, reveal it here and all that. Next it says, Hikaru Utada is in charge of the theme songs throughout the series. Do you draw any inspiration from their work? When it comes to the Kingdom Hearts series, I only start thinking about the opening movie after I receive their songs. I work on it with them in mind, so they're indispensable. So yeah, it turns out that the song comes first and then they make the movie. The opening cinematic, revolves around the song, so that's pretty cool. And that explains why they all fit so well, because, yeah. This next one says, at the end of Union Cross, the player melts into Xehanort's heart. Were they inside him the whole time? Nomura, this will become clear when you play Dark Road. Please look forward to it. So we're going to get a confirmation or a follow-up on the whole player turning into Xehanort. And that's good to hear, because that was a huge bombshell. Next question is, Riku hands Kairi a Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 2, but where did he get it? Are there any plans to show how that happened? Nomura, this will be another one of these questions that I can't show if I tell you the answer. I'll try to follow it up on it somehow, otherwise it'll just go to waste. So, apparently, Riku handing Kairi a Keyblade is something that's going to be elaborated on in a future game. I really never thought much of it, but I guess there's something significant to that. We'll see eventually. In some future game, of course. Alright, this next one says, the story diverges based on who wins or loses in the battle against Yuzora, which I believe is a first for the Kingdom Hearts series. What is the significance in this? There isn't any. Yuzora is a very powerful foe and therefore difficult to beat, so I thought it'd be better if players could see something even if they lost the battle. It'd be upsetting for those who couldn't defeat him no matter how hard they tried and received nothing for their efforts. So, pretty much, yeah, they're basically saying that the losing ending, the bad ending that you get in Kingdom Hearts 3 if you lose to Yuzora, is just there because, Yuzora is really hard and you want to put in something, give you at least something if you really couldn't beat him. You get a little something, see some special cutscene and all that, so, yeah. That definitely throws a wrench in a couple of my theories, but, oh well, it is what it is. Next one says, did Ephemeris realize the player's true intentions in Union Cross's ending? Nomura, it's a sad goodbye, but there's still a lot to be said about Ephemeris, so I'll refrain from answering. However, past stories will be resolved in Missing Link, so be sure to check it out. So I'm wondering if Ephemeris is still going to be alive in Missing Link. We don't actually know, the time frame in between that ending part in Union Cross and, the part where Brian left from. So, who knows? Maybe Ephemeris could be like a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old or an 80-year-old. Who knows? It would be pretty cool if Ephemeris does come back. Next question. When did Naminé and Ansem meet? When there was no one else left in Castle Oblivion. Organization 13 had been eliminated and Sora and Riku were gone, and they were like, well, what do we do now? Hazama, it wasn't that amicable, was it? Nomura, it wasn't. Which, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Because, yeah, that's kind of where Chain of Memories left us off. But, I mean, yeah. Next question is, why did Riku's hair get cut in Kingdom Hearts 3D? Nomura, everyone kept saying his hair is too long in Kingdom Hearts 2 and that he should cut it off, so off it went. So yeah, I don't know if he means fans or the people in the development studio, but literally the reason that he cut his hair is just because of, you know, people saying that his hair was too long, which, I mean, I guess it was the Japanese audience, because I never saw anyone say that, but I mean, then again, I wasn't playing Kingdom Hearts in 2005 and 6, so maybe that's what people were saying. I don't know, but I remember everyone thinking it was meant to symbolize a new beginning, but no, it's just because fans said that his hair was too long. Also, next one says, while we're on the topic, is there anything else you changed in response to fan feedback? Nomura, Roxas and Xion's return in Kingdom Hearts 3. I was struggling with the issue until the very last minute, and even considered a scenario where they wouldn't be revived at all. However, everyone's feelings were so strong that I felt I had no choice but to bring them back. There are parts of the story that I won't budge on, but when I'm having trouble, I will consider what everyone else is saying. So, wow, that's actually kind of a huge bombshell, because, I mean, if you remember Kingdom Hearts 3, a huge point in that game was, you know, Roxas coming back, and they made a big deal out of it. But that wasn't even always the plan. That was mainly just because fans wanted Roxas and Xion back. And that's pretty wild to think about, you know. That was a huge, big thing, and that wasn't even going to be part of the story. And in a way, I think that does make sense, because if you remember Kingdom Hearts 2, I mean, when Roxas, well, Xion didn't exist yet, but when Roxas was going back to Sora, I mean, it was kind of, you know, portrayed as a pretty good thing. It was portrayed as like, this is the end of his suffering and his pain and all that. He's back where he belongs, and he's gonna be good. He willingly was like, yeah, let's fuse back Sora. So it was like, it didn't exactly lead up to him coming back. It didn't like hint or like follow up on that until way later in Dream Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 3. So yeah, I mean, I think it does make sense, but it's pretty wild to see that that was even in his original idea. That was mainly for the fans, and it, you know, it almost didn't come in. Like, it was at the last second. So that's pretty wild, honestly. And for Xion, I mean, well, there wasn't really too much of an indication that she was coming back either, because like she also, like Roxas, went back with Sora, and that was pretty much that for most of the games. Unless you want to count like blank points for everyone coming back, maybe. Next question is, how do you read the world of, and there's that asterisk thing there we saw, that the Master of Masters tried to disappear to? Is the symbol a hidden character? Nomura, it is. The name was written properly in script. We're keeping it under wraps for the time being, but you'll find out eventually. However, if you have a good sense, you might be able to figure it out on your own. So yeah, there is actually, that's just like a way to block out the word that he said. You know, I remember when everyone thought that was the symbol for Quadratum, me included, but no, that's pretty much like a Japanese version of asterisk. And yeah, so I'm guessing maybe he said like the world of imagination or the world of fiction. Who knows, because I mean, that's what they said in Melody of Memory, so that's probably what it is. Anyway, next they say, when and how did Aiza receive a scar on his face? Also, why is it in the form of the Rakusen sigil? Because, of course, in Kingdom Hearts, X has to mean something, right? Anyway, good question. There's a story with Lee and Aiza and the girl they were trying to rescue. Stay tuned for the future. So yeah, that'll probably be followed up on. If you guys remember Subject X, they were trying to save her from the castle in Radiant Garden. Who knows? I guess he got messed up by someone. Maybe, like, I don't know, Alias came in and like slashed his face. I don't know. Maybe it was the Heartless or something. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it could have been like a Heartless in the lab or something that came up and attacked them. But yeah, I guess we'll figure out in the future. Next one says, why was there noise in the sky after Ephemeris Gold left the data world in Unicross? Nomura, there's no deeper meaning to this. It's just an effect. Hazuma, people tend to misunderstand this kind of thing. And yeah, so if you remember when they got out, when they left and saw the world Ephemeris Gold, it was like a huge crazy effect. It was like glitching out and the world looked pretty messed up. And I mean, yeah, it didn't really, it was just an effect. It wasn't anything, you know. And it's funny, like, to see even Nomura saying, like, or not even Nomura, but Hazuma and Nomura pretty much saying, like, yeah, no, like, that wasn't actually anything. That was just like an effect. That wasn't, because sometimes Kingdom Hearts fans tend to look way too deep into things. But yeah, it's kind of funny to see even from developers themselves saying, yeah, like, this wasn't actually like some sort of symbolism or anything. Anyway, next one says, the Master Xehanort hijacked Terra's body to see what lies beyond the Keyblade War. but it seems like young Xehanort was already pretty powerful. So why didn't he do anything when he was still young? Nomura, because he didn't have the power to do so. Not enough. As for Xehanort himself, the mystery surrounding him will be revealed in the final chapter of Dark Road. You'll also find out why Xehanort's hair became the way it did. Like bald? I mean, okay, Nomura. Thank you for that information. Well, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I think that Xehanort needed Terra's body because of age. He wasn't trying to, like, die of old age, you know, and all that. Like, it's like, Xehanort, I don't think he really needed it for power. Like, he was very, like, very powerful, and he's trying to exist in whatever happens next for a long time, so I think it makes sense. I'm not really sure why this question was even asked, but, I mean, yeah, I don't think young Xehanort was able to start a Keyblade where he didn't have the Keyblade, you know, the X Keyblade, and any of that. He couldn't summon Kingdom Hearts, so, you know. But anyway, yeah, we'll elaborate. We'll see on that stuff in Dark Road. Okay, next one we see is, what is the difference between falling to darkness, as what happened to Riku and Aqua, and becoming a heartless and creating nobodies? Nomura, falling to darkness and losing your heart are two different phenomena. When the heart falls to darkness, it still remains with you, but when it becomes a heartless, the heart departs the body. Dark Aqua is pretty cool, and I like her a lot, so I wanted to show her off a little more. And yeah, I guess he liked the little Phantom Aqua fight in 0.2, so then he was like, hey, maybe let's do some more of this. And yeah, so Aqua's heart wasn't like, she didn't die or anything, she just fell to darkness. She was corrupted pretty much. Whereas with the Heartless, you straight up like you die, you lose your heart, and that's why you become Heartless, like Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1. Yeah, that is the difference. Next question is, you mentioned the reason why Maleficent believes the black box contains the Book of Prophecies will be revealed in Union Cross, but are there any plans to elaborate on that in the future? The scenes with Darkness and Maleficent in Union Cross hinted at the reason, even though it wasn't explicitly revealed. Since it wasn't clear to everyone, I think I'll have Maleficent talk about it sooner or later. I actually think I know why Maleficent thinks that the Book of Prophecies is in the black box. I'm guessing that the Book of Prophecies might actually be the medium in which people are able to transfer, you know, over to the future. Because, of course, we know that Maleficent ended up in the past, and then she needed a medium and all that to travel to the future, so I'm guessing she's like, okay, well, they needed a medium to travel to the future too. Maybe the box has the Book of Prophecies, which all the foretellers in them and the Masters all had. Maybe that's the medium they used to, you know, travel into the future without like losing their memory and all that. I kind of imagine that's what it is. The last fan question is, in Kingdom Hearts 3, Xemnas breaks Lee's Keyblade and says your Keyblade is no more, yet Lee continues to use it regardless. Nomura, there were a lot of these kinds of retorts. It doesn't mean that Lee's Keyblade is gone for good, since Xemnas does not have the power to do that. The nuance is that Xemnas has destroyed it on the spot, sending a message to Lee that even if he were to summon his Keyblade again, the same thing would happen. He's got a Keyblade now, but he can't use it. And yeah, he didn't straight up destroy his Keyblade, he just like, not broke it, but like undid it pretty much, you know? Like, it's like, you can't hurt me with your Keyblade, I'm just gonna grab it and then undo it, you know? I'm just gonna make it disappear. So it's like, you can't, you know, you can't fight me, Lee. And so yeah, so that was pretty much the whole Q&A anniversary event. They just had so much interesting stuff in here. I mean, I'm still over, like, I can't believe that, I'm still not over the fact that, like, Roxas and Xion coming back wasn't even fully planned. Like, that was like a maybe, you know, that wasn't even fully considered by Nomura. It was more for the fans. And the fact that we're gonna, I guess, get an explanation of why Xehanort's bald, I mean, okay. And the fact that, you know, Riku giving Kairi the Keyblade is something that's going to be elaborated on, and I hope they do some more of these things, because it's always an interesting read. Let me know what your favorite question or favorite part of this whole thing was. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.